So have you ever wondered why she gets so jealous when you even glance at another woman, or why she loses her cool when your female colleague texts you late at night? Now today I'm pulling back that curtain on a topic that most people shy away from, but is important if you want to understand the complex world of women, especially when it comes to jealousy. And trust me, it's not just about you being a ladies' man. There's a lot more going on under the surface that you need to know about. Now, before this video ends, I'll show you exactly how you can turn this jealousy into passion. So make sure you buckle up and don't miss a second of this video. Welcome back, Jessica OS here. The real reason behind her jealousy. Jealousy. It's one of those emotions that can turn a seemingly perfect relationship upside down in a blink of an eye. But I need you to realize that jealousy isn't just some wild, irrational emotion that women throw at you because they're insecure or crazy. No, my friend, it's far more complex than that. And understanding it is important if you want to navigate your relationship successfully. So why does she get jealous? What's really going on when she feels that pang of insecurity every time another woman enters the picture? Please know that when a woman gets jealous, it's often a sign of something much deeper. It's about fear, deep, gut-wrenching fear. The fear of losing you, of not being enough, of being replaced by someone who, in her mind, might be younger, prettier, or more interesting. And it's not just surface level fear. It taps into something far more profound. Let me break it down. So from a young age, women are conditioned to see ourselves in comparison to others, whether it's in looks, intelligence, or even in the way we love. Society has a funny way of making us feel like we're in constant competition, especially when it comes to relationships. You see, when a woman sees you engaging with another woman, it's like all those insecurities she's tried to suppress come rushing to the surface. And it's not about the other woman, it's about her own doubts and fears and the idea that maybe, just maybe, she's not good enough for you. And here's where it gets interesting. Her jealousy, while rooted in fear, is also a twisted form of love. That's right. When she gets jealous, it's often because she cares about you so much that the thought of losing you drives her over the edge. It's a raw, primal instinct and emotion that comes from a place of deep attachment. She's invested in you, and the idea that you're slipping away is terrifying. However, instead of expressing this fear in a vulnerable, open way, it comes out as jealousy, sharp, biting, and sometimes even hurtful. Now, I know what you might be thinking. If she trusts me, why does she get jealous? Here's the thing. Jealousy isn't always about a lack of trust in you. It's often more about a lack of trust in herself, in her own worth, right? It's about those moments of self-doubt where she wonders if she's truly enough for you. And when those insecurities flare up, jealousy is her way of expressing that fear without having to come out and say, look, I'm scared of losing you. So the next time she gets jealous, don't just brush it off as her being irrational. What you need to do is to recognize that it's a reflection of how much she cares deeply about you and how deeply invested she is in the relationship. It's her way of saying, you matter to me, and the thought of losing you scares me to death. But be careful. If you ignore this cry for help, you might be pushing her deeper into those fears, which can lead to emotional distance, resentment, and ultimately the breakdown of this very relationship you're trying to save. And that's where things can get really dangerous, because a woman who feels like her fears are being ignored is a woman who starts to question everything, her value, your commitment, and even the future of your relationship. By understanding what's really behind her jealousy, you can turn this potential destructive emotion into an opportunity to strengthen your bond. We'll get into that in a moment. The signs you're ignoring her jealousy and why it's dangerous. Now let's talk about something that most men tend to overlook, or worse, dismiss entirely: the subtle signs of jealousy. You see, now jealousy doesn't always announce itself with a dramatic outburst or a heated argument. More often than not, it's expressed in subtle, almost invisible ways that you might be ignoring. And trust me, ignoring these signs is like playing with fire, because it's only a matter of time before you get burnt. Let me paint a picture for you. Imagine you're at dinner and you casually mention a female colleague from work. You think nothing of it, but you notice maybe her eyes narrow a little bit. Or maybe she makes a seemingly offhand comment like, oh, sounds interesting. You talk about her a lot, don't you? These are the moments where her jealousy is starting to show, but instead of you addressing it, you brush it off as a harmless comment. Big mistake. Another sign, watch how she reacts when you receive a text from another woman, especially if it's late at night. Does she ask, "Who's texting you this late?" Or does she just go silent? Her expression shifting from maybe curious to something darker or more intense? These are not just casual questions or reactions, they're signals, red flags that you need to pay attention to. When she asks who texted you, she's not just making small talk. She's probing, she's trying to gauge whether she has something to worry about. And let's not forget social media. I mean, in my opinion, it's the latest breeding ground for modern day jealousy. You know, you post a picture, a woman comments something flirty or leaves a string of heart emojis. Does your girlfriend or wife suddenly go quiet, or do you catch her scrolling through that woman's profile trying to figure out who she is? She might not say anything outright, but her silence speaks volumes. Her jealousy is simmering, and if you're not careful, it's going to boil over. Now, here's where it gets dangerous. Every time you brush off these signs as no big deal, you're essentially telling her that her feelings don't matter. You're reinforcing the idea that she's overreacting, that her emotions are irrational as well. And let me tell you, nothing is more damaging to a woman's sense of security in a relationship than feeling like her emotions are being dismissed. When you ignore her jealousy, you're sending her down a dark path of self-doubt and insecurity. And that's when the real trouble begins. A woman who feels unheard or unimportant will start to withdraw emotionally. She'll begin questioning everything, your commitment, your honesty, and even your love for her. Now, the funny thing is, she might not voice these doubts directly, but they're there, festering under the surface. And once she starts doubting you, she might begin to pull away, both emotionally and physically. The distance will grow, and before you know it, the connection that once brought you guys so close will begin to fray. But here's where things will get even more scandalous. If this emotional distance continues, she'll start looking for validation elsewhere. That's right. By neglecting her feelings, you could inadvertently push her into the arms of someone who's making her feel seen, valued, understood. And this is the danger of ignoring her jealousy. And don't think the only thing you need to do is to avoid arguments or keep the peace. You need to safeguard the emotional foundation of your relationship. Let me be clear. When a woman feels like she's losing her place in your life, she might just start seeking it elsewhere. She might not do it consciously or with malice, but the need to feel desired, appreciated, and secure is powerful. So the next time she drops a comment about another woman or gives you that sideways glance when you mention that female friend, don't just laugh it off or change the subject. Pay attention, because what you do next could either strengthen your relationship or slowly tear it apart. Understanding these signs and taking them seriously is the key to preventing jealousy from spiraling out of control, right? It's not about avoiding jealousy altogether. I mean, that's impossible. Now, instead, you need to recognize it early and address it with the care and attention it deserves. Coming up, I'll show you exactly how to do that. So don't worry, I'm not here to try to scare you or anything like that. I'm here to help you navigate this emotional minefield like a pro. You see, her jealousy is more than an irrational outburst. It's her way of telling you that she needs reassurance. She wants to feel special, unique, irreplaceable. And believe it or not, that's something that you can easily provide if you know exactly what to do. So what do you do when she's seething with jealousy? I think it's important that you first acknowledge her feelings. Don't dismiss them, don't downplay them, and for heaven's sake, don't accuse her of being crazy. Show her that you understand why she's feeling this way, even if you think it's unwarranted. Then give her that reassurance that she craves. Tell her how much she means to you and prove it through your actions, because of course, actions speak louder than words. So the biggest mistake men make when dealing with a jealous woman is they try to manipulate the situation to make her feel guilty for feeling the way she does. They'll say things like, "Oh, you're overreacting," or "Why can't you just trust me?" This only pours gasoline on the fire. Instead of calming her down, it makes her feel attacked and misunderstood. And let me tell you, a woman who feels misunderstood is a dangerous woman. She'll start to pull away, both emotionally and physically. She might even start looking for attention elsewhere. And I already told you this. Trying to guilt trip her into silence will inadvertently be pushing her into the arms of someone else, someone who's rather making her feel heard, valued, and understood. It's not all doom and gloom. There's good news on the horizon. I mean, jealousy doesn't have to be the enemy of your relationship. In fact, if you handle it properly, it can spark or reignite the passion between both of you. By acknowledging her feelings, reassuring her of your love, and proving your loyalty, you can turn her jealousy into a powerful force. So next time that you see that flash of jealousy in her eyes, don't panic. Embrace it as an opportunity to show her how much she means to you, because in the end, you're not trying to avoid jealousy, but rather understand it and use it to build a stronger and more passionate relationship. Okay, I think the message is clear and I've driven this home. If you found this video helpful, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe for more candid relationship advice. And let me know in the comments, how do you handle jealousy in your relationships? And is that hurting or helping you? If you watched the video until this point, drop a blue heart to let me know. Until next time though, remember, understanding a woman's jealousy might be that key to unlocking a deeper connection that you so desire in your relationship. I'll see you soon in the next video. Jessica OS here. Bye for now.